Pernell Roberts' final confession. The truth he paid to erase. In 2008, documentary filmmaker Marcus Webb received a phone call that would haunt him for the rest of his life. The caller was Pernell Roberts, best known as Adam Cartwright on Bonanza, a man who had walked away from one of the most successful television shows in American history. Roberts made a strange offer. 6 hours of interviews. No restrictions. Complete honesty. But there was one condition. When the interviews were finished, every recording had to be destroyed. "I don't want this released while I'm alive," Roberts said. "And I don't want it released after I'm gone. I want it erased. As if it never existed." Webb agreed. He needed the money. Roberts paid him $50,000. They filmed inside Roberts' Malibu home over 2 weeks. Roberts was 80 years old and dying from pancreatic cancer. He knew time was short. What he wanted now wasn't fame or redemption. It was to tell the truth. And he did. Roberts spoke openly about Bonanza, about Hollywood, and about the people who made his life miserable after he walked away at the height of success. He spoke with anger, regret, and conviction. 6 hours became something far larger. An unfiltered confession from a man who had carried resentment for over 4 decades. When the interviews ended, Roberts watched as Webb deleted the files, emptied the trash, and formatted the drives. "Thank you," Roberts said, finally at peace. Webb left. And then he did something he never admitted, until years later. He recovered the files from a backup drive. Because documentarians don't destroy history. Roberts died in 2010. One by one, his Bonanza co-stars followed. And in 2024, 14 years after Roberts' death, Webb finally released portions of the recordings. Not everything. Only the parts about the people Roberts never forgave. This is that story. In 1959, Bonanza debuted on NBC and became a phenomenon. By the early 1960s, nearly 60 million Americans tuned in each week. Roberts played Adam Cartwright, the intelligent, thoughtful eldest son. He was paid handsomely and adored by fans. Then, in 1965, he walked away. At the time, America didn't understand why. On the tapes, Roberts explains it clearly. He believed Bonanza was lying. The show claimed to stand for morality and family values, but Roberts saw something darker. Racist portrayals of Native Americans, Mexicans, Chinese, and black characters. He fought the scripts for 6 years. He argued with producers. He begged his co-stars to stand with him. No one did. So he left. And Hollywood punished him. NBC executives quietly blacklisted him. For 14 years, Roberts couldn't get work in television. His reputation was destroyed. Friends turned away. His name became a warning. But the harshest reaction came from somewhere else. The fans. Roberts received hate mail, death threats. Strangers yelled at him in public. To them, he hadn't just left a job. He had abandoned them. They didn't care about his reasons. They never forgave him. Even decades later, the question followed him everywhere. Why did you leave Bonanza? Roberts never changed his answer. I was right, he said. And sometimes being right is all you have. These recordings reveal a man who chose principle over comfort, and paid for it for the rest of his life. A man who stood alone while others prospered. A man who died knowing history might never be kind to him. But he told the truth anyway. And now, decades later, you're finally hearing it. If you value classic Hollywood history, the stories that were buried, the feuds that were hidden, and the truths that were too uncomfortable to tell, subscribe Classic Hollywood Feuds.